Let's find powers of radical expressions. And so the main idea here is that if I take the nth root of a to the n, notice that this power matches this one, I'm going to get just a out of it. The catch here is that if I have variables, I have to be very careful that those variables work with their absolute value like we saw before. The square root of m squared is the absolute value of m. However, if we add a note to say the variables are considered to be positive, whether we say we assume that, then I can ignore that. So we're going to use this the whole way through. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this principle to help us solve problems. So for instance, if I have the square root of 5 and I square that, since there's a hidden 2 here, the 2's match, and I'm left with just a 5. If I take 2 cube roots of 7x squared cubed, I start by distributing the cube through. So I get 2 cubed, cube root of 7x squared cubed. 2 cubed is 8. The cube root of 7x squared, since the cubes match, this just becomes 7x squared. 8 times 7 is 56x squared. So this whole thing turns into 56x squared, just because the cubes matched. Well, it gets a little bit trickier than that sometimes. Suppose we have 8 minus the square root of 3 squared. Well, remember, this is a perfect square trinomial, and here's my a, here's my b, and I've got a minus sign between them. So I've got a minus b squared. The formula says that's a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So here we're going to get 8 squared minus 2 times 8 times the square root of 3 plus the square root of 3 squared. Well, 8 squared is 64. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 times the square root of 3 just becomes 16 square root of 3. And square root of 3 squared is plus 3. Combine like terms, and notice I can combine the outsides. And so we get, as our final result, 67 plus 16 square roots of 3. Well, one final problem. Suppose I have the square root of x plus 3 plus 5 squared. And this does the exact same thing. In fact, there's a reason we're looking at this now. So our a is the square root of x plus 3, which we square, plus, copy that sign in the middle, 2 times the square root of x plus 3 times 5. Well, let's get these in the right colors. Plus 5 squared. So the square root of something squared just gives us that something, x plus 3. 2 times 5 is 10 square roots of x plus 3 plus 25, which combines to x plus 28 plus 10 root x plus 5. And we're going to see this again when we solve equations. This is sometimes something that we need to do. So keep it in mind and remember it for as we move on.